half in the bag.
Okay, Mike, put your credit card in. Only $20 and we can both watch the movie.
Jay, are you sure that putting my credit card into this unsecured website so that we could watch Corey Feldman's fake documentary is really the best idea?
Of course. If we can't trust Corey Feldman, who can we trust?
You make a valid point. It's all set up? Mm-hmm. Here we go. I'm putting my credit card and personal information into Corey Feldman's unsecured website. Okay, here we go. I'm submitting my credit card information.
Okay. Oh, the website's been hacked.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, God, now it crashed. I expected more from a GeoCities website. Now how are we going to see the list of names of all the Hollywood pedophiles?
Silly Jay. All you need to do is look at the credits of any movie.
That's right, Mike.
That's a lot of names! I wonder if my credit card is safe. Hello? Yes? Fraud alert? $19,000 worth of untraceable Visa gift cards? Purchased in Bangladesh? Why, yes, that was me. I approve those charges. Yeah, I did that yesterday. Thanks for calling. I appreciate the extra security concerns. What? I like to get an early start on my Christmas gifts. Did you hear that? Sounded like someone hit a snare drum. And somebody playing drums outside? Is somebody playing drums outside? Now it's totally silent.
Well, since we can't watch My Truth, The Rape of Two Coreys, maybe we should go see a real movie.
One that actually plays in the theater?
Well, live streaming is difficult. It's only 2020. Nobody knows how to live stream a video. I can understand the problems that he's had.
You can't fight it off. It's too strong.
Wow! Holy crap! They're hacking us in real time.
Maybe that was the real movie. They're making a documentary called Corey Feldman, The Rape of an Audience.
Or Corey Feldman, the boy who cried Wolfpack.
Oh!
Anyway, what's playing in the theaters, Jay?
Onward?
Kids movie.
Ordinary Love?
Chick flick.
Sonic the Hedgehog?
Man-child movie.
The Boy 2?
Not in the mood for a comedy.
The Call of the Wild with Harrison Ford?
Ugh, CGI dog? No, thank you. I prefer a real dog get put through living hell to make a terrible film. Ugh, what a bunch of boring shit in the movie theaters. Am I right?
Oh, I know what we could go see. The Invisible Man. The classic Universal monster movie character.
Oh, right. Do you remember when Alex Kurtzman tried to start the cinematic dark universe with that huge Tom Cruise flop? What a disaster.
I never thought I'd hear the words disaster and Alex Kurtzman used in the same sentence. But here we are.
Yeah, and after that, I think it was you who suggested that Blumhouse should take over these movies, make them on a smaller budget to maximize profits.
Who would have thought you should make a horror movie like a horror movie and not a $300 million Transformers film?
Yeah, it takes a real genius to think of that. It's ironic. So many pedophiles in Hollywood, and they're all thinking big.
Well, Mike, maybe we should go out and see The Invisible Man before it disappears from theaters.
He must have put his drum set away. It was all done.
Oh my God! I'm sick! I've got the Macarena virus!
Mr. Plinkett, I think you mean the coronavirus.
Oh no, I've got that too though.
Don't touch me! Don't touch me!
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, you touched my fucking eyes.
Oh, he touched your face! You're not supposed to touch your face!
Oh, God.
Oh, Jesus Christ, he keeps touching us!
I shouldn't rub my eyeballs.
Oh,
I'll
Jesus.
get that for you.
Oh, no,
I'll
this
get
is-
yours. I'll get
Oh, that's right. There's a horrible virus sweeping the earth. Maybe we should just, stay in here and watch something that's streaming.
Well, if we can't go out and see The Invisible Man in theaters, why don't we watch some other Blumhouse movies? I hear there's a bunch of them on Hulu.
If they're direct-to-Hulu movies with the Blumhouse name on them, they have to be good, right?
Jay, is there really such a thing as the Macarena virus? I think there was, maybe like in the mid-90s, but they eradicated it.
Oh, was that before or after that horrible outbreak of Chumbawamba?
Kill me.
From Blumhouse, the producers of 3 hit horror films, The Purge, Happy Death Day, and Paranormal Activity, comes 100 terrible horror films you'll never want to watch. Why, it's the Blumhouse Party on Hulu, also known as Into the Dark series, or a TV show, or a collection of feature films. Either way, Jay and I have used a sophisticated computer to select 3 films to watch based on ratings. There's the best rated, the middle rated, and of course the worst, according to IMDb. Let's see what happened.
Well, Mike, how did we get here?
We got here because we're scared of the coronavirus, because theaters are nasty as it is.
That's the thing, is I'm scared to go to the theater even before this virus outbreak. Have you seen some of these fucking people?
This all started from me browsing around Hulu, which is kind of like a wasteland. And then you're like, Hulu, you go through movies, and it's like their interface, the Hulu interface is terrible. But I'm like, okay, there's movies. You go Hulu Originals or movies, and you go to Originals, and it's like, there's a picture, a giant picture of just something, and then it says, 2 people go on a vacation somewhere, and then ... And then what's the rest of the plot? And then you hit it to find out more information, and the movie starts.
And then you're trapped.
Yeah, then you're trapped. I got to go back. But then there's a way to find out. You go later where it's like thumbnails.
Yeah.
And then you click on the thumbnail, and it says play trailer, and you could read the whole synopsis. So it's like it's a fucking thing. And so I'm looking, and it's like, some things, this is a show because it says season 1, episode 1. Okay, that's a show. And then when it says 1 hour and 22 minutes, you're like, oh, that's a movie. Mm-hmm. And then, but really this is Blumhouse Presents. We're going to talk about Blumhouse because they are extremely prolific, a production company that has produced top tier stuff like Get Out, and they fucking produced that jazz movie,
Whiplash.
Whiplash, yeah. and then they have this like branch of Blumhouse that produces like asylum level crap.
Yeah. Well, Blumhouse it is a production company, but it is also a brand.
Yes.
It's not like Warner Brothers. People don't say, "Oh, it's the new Warner Brothers film."
Yeah.
They just go see a movie that's made by Warner Brothers. But with Blumhouse, it is specifically. I mean, they do occasionally stuff like Whiplash, but it's mostly horror. And do you remember that Truth or Dare movie?
Blumhouse's.
It was like Blumhouse's or Blumhouse Presents. Yeah.
I think it was Possessive. It was Blumhouse's Truth or Dare.
Yeah. So they're trying to be a brand name where you go see it because it's Blumhouse, but I don't know who's in charge of their quality control because their shit's all over the place.
Before the trailers of all these movies, which are more so long episodes in an anthology series.
I guess. I mean, they're all at least like an hour and 20 minutes.
Their TV show material stretched to feature-length films, but we'll get to that.
Sure.
And when you watch one of these trailers, it always says from the producers of The Purge, Happy Death Day, and Paranormal Activity. So, in addition to the Blumhouse brand, they throw up those titles. Oh, well, you know, must be a real movie.
It's hard to get. First of all, we watched 3 of them.
Yeah.
We selected 3, as you said, based on highest rated according to IMDb ratings, lowest rated, and then we picked one that was right in the middle. Highest rated is too high, and lowest rated is not low enough.
Yes, that's very good.
But those ratings are very, like, you look at them and it's like 300 people voted. Like, nobody's watching this stuff.
Yeah.
And they've been at it for 2 years, and I'm not sure what the point is. I mean, obviously they don't spend a whole lot on them.
No.
Which is, I mean, that's Blumhouse's whole thing.
Yeah.
And that's why I've always had, like, mixed feelings about them, because it's like, okay, movies are too fucking expensive these days, but Blumhouse, they make, I think it's between like 5 and 10 million is the budgets of all their movies.
Yeah.
So even when you have something like recently they had their Fantasy Island movie came out, critically panned, everybody hated it, bad audience reviews, but it only cost $7 million to make. It made like over $50 million. Not a lot for a big movie, but for something that only cost $7 million, even a flop isn't a flop.
That was the listed budget for The Invisible Man, too, was $7 million, and that made 105 at this point.
Yeah, over 100 million.
You famously suggested that Blumhouse should take on the Universal monster movies.
I'm still waiting for my check.
Yeah. And I'm still waiting for my check for suggesting J.J. Abrams direct Star Wars films.
Oh, they're not asking for their refund yet? They already gave you your check.
I'm getting sued. So it's a $7 million
Pocket change.
Pocket change, and that's their big budget movies. I can't even imagine what My Valentine cost. I have it right here.
You just made a Blumhouse movie.
But you had asked the question, who's watching these movies, and what are they for, and what's the purpose? And I have an answer for you.
Okay.
And it's a food analogy. When you go to the theater to see, say one of the 10 Best Picture nominated movies, or a filmmaker you've known and liked for years, like Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino has a new film out. That's like going to a 5-star restaurant and saying, I want to order a really good meal. And I know it's going to be good, and I know I'm going to like it, and I know I'm going to get what I paid for. I'm going to sit down and eat this really good meal at this fancy restaurant. The Blumhouse movies are things that are in a buffet. Because when you go to a buffet, you pay to get in, and they keep everything stocked.
Sure.
Some stuff may not get eaten at all and get thrown out, but the concept is there that you can go into this buffet and have 50 choices of things you could eat. So Blumhouse is keeping the buffet of Hulu stocked with food. That's what it is.
Sure.
It's Hulu can say, we have 50 original horror films exclusive only to Hulu. They're horror films.
Because that's the incentive for like a Netflix or like a Hulu is, with Netflix, I don't even know if anyone watches movies on Netflix anymore. They just watch the original programs.
Right. And Netflix makes original movies too.
Yeah.
So every streaming, Amazon, Netflix, Hulu, all these companies can say we have original movies that are exclusive only to our streaming service.
Yeah.
So it's like when you go to the buffet, we have a thing of fried chicken next to the mashed potatoes, and it might not be as good as if you go into a restaurant and order a very specific meal that's high quality, but
We got a big plate of lukewarm Blumhouse.
yes. Well, my misunderstanding from the get-go was that these were independent films that were produced independently, and Blumhouse went and said, hey, we want to buy your movie, slap our name on it, and put it into the Dark Anthology. But I think they actually produced the
They're
movies.
produced in-house, or however you want to call it, but yeah, they're made specifically for this Blumhouse label.
Yeah.
Which is probably, I mean, they're clearly very low budget, but it's a good opportunity for, most of these are made by unknown filmmakers that haven't done a lot of features, if any.
It's a weird thing because all the entities involved are getting paid. So here's the cycle. Here's the circle. Ready? Here's a graphic.
Okay.
People pay Hulu. Hulu pays Blumhouse. Blumhouse pays talent above and below the line to create a film. And then in this circle, nobody is consuming this product that is being created in the loop. It is the tray of fried chicken that nobody ate that gets dumped at the end of the night and replaced the next day with a fresh batch of fried chicken that people are filling into the buffet, and nobody's eating this chicken. But it's there so that you pay to get into the buffet. But two brave souls did watch 3 of these films. We sat down and we watched them. Not with the explicit intent of making fun of them, but really just to see what's going on.
Yeah.
What are all these movies? Because we know it's in the theater. I don't want to get the coronavirus, so.
But Mike, there are good movies that have come out that we skipped. We didn't spend our time and energy making a video where we say, yeah, it was pretty good. Why didn't we do that?
I do want to see that new Tom Hanks movie where he's in World War II.
What movie's that?
I don't know.
Saving Private Ryan?
No, but I'm going to pretend it's his character from Saving Private Ryan who survived.
What World War II movie is
I don't
that?
know. He's a captain on a boat, and there's a bunch of submarines attacking ships. Actually, I'm not going to pretend he's his character from Saving Private Ryan. I'm going to pretend he's Mr. Rogers. Now that's an adventure. It's a beautiful day at Normandy. A beautiful day at Normandy. Please don't get shot. Please don't get shot. Won't you burn those Nazis?
Don't shoot! Let him burn!
Anyways, so the 3 films we watched. The first film was called A Nasty Piece of Work.
An apt title, I guess?
Yeah.
I was looking forward to this one because it has Julian Sands in it, who is, of course, the Warlock in the Warlock films, and he was in like Arachnophobia. He's been in a bunch of stuff.
He's actually the living embodiment of the Shame Wizard from Big Mouth.
Oh, we're doing that again?
Yeah, I know.
So, you're up for continuing this rather unorthodox job interview?
Who am I? Andrew. I'm the Shame Wizard, of course.
And it looks just like him.
Oh,
And
weird.
He's got 2 colored eyes and a scar down his face. He looks kind of like a Harry Potter villain. He just floats up. And the plot of the show is a juvenile script about climbing the corporate ladder
Yeah.
or something.
I'm taking the money you usually spend on bonuses, and I'm using it to create one more high-level job, which will give employees the chance to reach executive status.
The boss, played by Julian Sands, invites 2 employees and their significant others to his house and basically has them battle it out violently for who gets the promotion. But there's twists and turns that are not interesting or twisty in any way.
Sucks.
It's terrible. It reminded me of, I don't know if they were inspired by that movie Ready or Not from last year. It had that same kind of tone to
Yes.
it, where the rich couple, it's Julian Sands and his wife, who's both of them are like comically overacting.
Shut your dirty mouth!
Or what? It's not like you wear the pants around here, houseboy.
Out of my way, Dunlop.
Julian Sands, it's like terrible in this. It's like he's on another planet.
Oh yeah, he doesn't know the material. And
Yeah.
they don't. None of the actors know what they're supposed to be doing.
Tonally, yeah.
Tonally.
But it reminded me of Ready or Not, like running through this house and violent things happening and the kind of snooty, upper class characters. So like Ready or Not, but bad.
And confusing in terms of the premise and motivations of the entire plot. I mean, I get it. Like, there's your lead guy, and then you have the douchey guy with the vapid wife.
All played very broadly.
Broadly, yes.
I think stupid would be falling for the same routine twice in the span of like an hour.
And so it's just like, the first shocking moment is the Shame Wizard kills Catherine O'Hara with a gun, and her head blows off, and then he's like, who will help me cover up this crime?
Yeah.
Unless she's not dead.
No, you're not supposed to know that. It's supposed to be a big shock when she gets up, Mike.
Where's my drink?
Come up with an alibi, and whoever comes up with the best alibi will make it to the corporate boardroom. And then, she's not dead. And then after that,
It's a scene after scene of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You think it's this, but oh no, it's not. But it all just leads to the same place anyway.
Right. And then there's weird masks on the wall, and then they reveal at the end that the weird masks are worn by the board members, so, old rich white guys who are board members. They play this game once, never, 100 times. I don't know. Has this ever happened before? No one knows. If someone's in the walls. I think those are the board members watching.
I guess that's supposed to be,
but for some reason he grabs her hand.
Yeah. If you're just trying to observe, why would you
Why
interact?
would you do that?
Yeah.
So really, like, there's 100 million things, and it's like, why don't they just leave at some point?
Yeah. But Mike, he stays with him because that's satire. It's unrealistic.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes. He's trying to climb the corporate ladder.
He's trying to climb the corporate ladder.
I wanted more than you. I wanted more than anything.
He makes an interesting argument.
God damn it, Gavin!
I'm reconsidering, Ted. What are you going to do about this?
Doing whatever he can to climb the corporate
But the twist is that his girlfriend gets the promotion, who didn't even work for them because she was the nastiest piece of work of all. She was the most cutthroat.
You know what else I found interesting out of all three of these films? I guess it's not interesting, it's more obvious. All three films took place and were shot in the greater Los Angeles area.
Sure. I'm willing to bet the entire series is.
You know what bugged me too? Just a little bit. It takes place in Los Angeles, and I've been to Los Angeles a few times, as have you. Mm-hmm. And I'm not an expert, but I'm pretty sure the layout of LA is the big downtown area, then the east side is like the slums.
Sure.
And then away from the city, when you go towards like Hollywood, West Hollywood, Burbank, over there where the mountains start and the Hollywood sign is, the Griffith Observatory, all the fancy homes are in the hills, and it goes up.
Yeah.
That's like over there is like where like houses are. So when they show this corporate boardroom, my point is they show the skyline of the downtown part, which is like the view from all the fancy houses. And so that's where their corporate headquarters is located. When it's like a financial company or a business, it should be in the downtown part. So my point is they shot it at Jason Blum's house. So that was distracting to me because I was like, this is this. And then if we can jump ahead to low budget crap and locations, Pooka.
Oh, Pooka, yeah.
Pooka
was my favorite of the three.
Yes.
Which isn't saying much, but
I actually liked Pooka.
Pooka was okay. The premise is a struggling wannabe actor takes a gig wearing this stupid costume because it's the hot new toy called Pooka that all the kids are buying. And so he's the Pooka mascot, and then it starts to kind of obsess him. He gets obsessed with it and starts to develop like a weird bond with it. And things go crazy, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But then you get to the very end, and it's one of those endings that makes you go, oh.
Well, after watching the other two films, I got to the end and went, oh.
Well, it's.
I started skipping.
Spoilers for all this stuff, but it's the incident at Owl Creek or occurrence at Owl Creek, It's
Yeah,
that ending, the
maybe.
old short film / Twilight Zone episode where you realize the whole thing was a vision or a dream.
I was expecting a cut to him in a straitjacket,
Oh,
or in
sure.
a hospital, and that's all. This film reel's just going in his head of all these events. But yeah, it was like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
And the little pieces were all there. I mean, it was the best script.
It was
out
the
of
best
all of
visuals
them.
too. There were some
And
neat
visuals,
visuals.
yeah.
Like I love the contrast of the Pooka costumes, this goofy kid costume, but there's like horror stings when it cuts to it. I noticed the music was by Bear McCreary because that guy works. I don't know if he came up with the Pooka music. That Pooka theme song will be.
It's catchy.
It's an earworm. It'll get stuck in your head.
Pooka see, Pooka do, Pooka me, Pooka you. You never know what Pooka will do.
But then, yeah, later when it starts to get more sinister and you see the Pooka with the flames in its eyeballs and stuff like that. And that's something I thought was going to happen because the Pooka costume, the eyes look like car headlights.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh, at the end when it's revealed that he was in a car accident, that's going to be a connection there. But then the Pooka doll exists outside of his fantasy and it's laying on the ground and it also just has car headlight eyes. So it's like,
Yeah. I think the car headlights were a motif or a thing, but
yeah.
But yeah, the
doesn't quite work when you get to the real ending.
Yeah, it was an unreliable narrator kind of feature film.
Yeah.
With
the reality of the world that he's in falls apart as it goes along.
Yes, and the twist is you at the beginning you think, I was thinking, I'm in this mindset of these movies being terrible, and the creepy guy's looking down from above as he's doing his audition. And okay, so he's in the Pooka costume. There's a secret satanic cult. He does this ritual, this Pooka ritual, and it
some sort of dumb cult plot.
Brainwashes kids into like Halloween 3 season of the witch.
Sure, yeah.
So I thought, okay, he's being tricked into some kind of devil worshipping cult that's gonna secretly brainwash kids into killing their parents while they hold their Pooka dolls. But it turned to be a little story about a guy who was an asshole, an asshole actor in Hollywood,
an alcoholic,
crashed his car.
Yeah, he starts to get more and more addicted to the costume, just as you would get more and more addicted to alcohol. It's
a lot going on in Pooka.
It's slim, but it felt more like a movie than the other two.
Yes,
I think the deal with all three of these that we watched though is that they would have benefited from being half-hour Tales from the Crypt episodes.
Right.
They're all stretched.
That's another interesting point. I was thinking like Twilight Zone.
The good Twilight Zone, not this Jordan Peele nonsense. Well, actually, no, these are more in line with the newer one.
These are more like the Jordan Peele episodes of Twilight Zone, which I think vanished off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any talks of redoing those. Those were some bad things. Ouch.
And those are probably exponentially more expensive to produce than these Blumhouse movies.
Right.
I would think.
Yeah. Better actors.
Bigger name actors, yeah.
And like the Pooka one, someone had a good script. They said, here's my idea. It could work. We're talking about locations because they're in Pooka and our least rated film, My Valentine, which may be the worst thing I've ever seen in my whole life. Both are ambitious scripts or have elements that are ambitious, but limitations in the budget.
Sure.
Because Pooka is supposed to be this big phenomenon, and Tickle Me Elmo or a Barney or something that's really big.
Yeah.
And then so you're thinking like in movie terms, okay, the big Pooka event would be at FAO Schwartz in New York, or it's
the Mall of America.
The Mall of America.
The entire mall is swarmed with children.
Or a mall, or a toy store, but those are locations.
Yeah,
and then
it was shot in like a closet.
They rented out like an abandoned building somewhere in Hollywood, some dirty street in Los Angeles, and with like dirty glass windows, like a strip mall, and they taped up a sign that said Pooka pop. They called it pop up.
Yeah,
just smart. But it's like, you gotta go bigger.
I can look past that stuff when the material is good.
Yeah.
Like Pooka didn't bother me as much, and also Pooka doesn't have a lot of locations, but it bounces between the locations it has a little more. Yeah. So it keeps things varied as opposed to the other two we watched, which are 95% of them are in just one place.
It's
and they're not clever or well written enough to sustain it. That one location.
The one location movie or primary location movie has to be very good.
Yeah. Ready or Not, that whole thing's in a house. It's a good movie.
Yeah, it has to maintain a quality level in order to pull off the one location thing, or else it starts to feel like it's dragging.
Yes.
And those movies did. Anyways.
But that's another one, like A Nasty Piece of Work, where there's clearly a satirical element to it, but it works more because it's more of a background thing. It's not like trying to make it the entire point of the movie, like A Nasty Piece of Work.
Countless malfunctioning Pookas have been returned throughout Los Angeles, with parents complaining that the popular Naughty or Nice toys are suddenly broken.
There's that shot of the newscaster on the street, and all the kids start throwing the Pookas down on the ground and stepping on them.
Yeah.
It reminded me of like Starship Troopers when they're stepping on the bugs.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some creativity going on in Pooka.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about My Valentine, Jay.
Yes, let's.
Because this is the worst thing.
I would call it a mess. A mess in terms of tone, style, writing, everything.
It puts the mess in message.
Oh, there you go.
And I don't know if it's based on a real person or not, but it's about a Hollywood pervert / manipulator who wants to groom women or a woman to be a pop star for his own sick fetish of control.
Yes.
His name is Royal.
Okay. I was about to call him Titanic Sinclair because that's the real guy, because this is based on a true story.
Oh.
Have you ever heard of the pop singer / YouTuber named Poppy?
I'm Poppy. I'm Poppy. I'm Poppy. I'm Poppy. I'm Poppy.
She came on the radar a few years ago because I didn't even know she did music, but there was a YouTube channel that showed up called Poppy. And all these really short, kind of weird David Lynchian videos. And she talks in this high-pitched voice, kind of like the Valentine character in this movie.
Poppy, I asked you a question.
I love my fans, my record label, and my handler.
I am so glad that you all could make it to this super special secret show. Just for my most super special fans.
And it turned out that her whole act was created by a fellow named Titanic Sinclair, who had previously created this exact same persona with someone named Mars Argo. They were in a relationship, and I don't know, I think in that case, she came up with the whole character, and he sort of, once they broke up, he just recreated that character with another girl. And
allegedly.
Well, that's literally what happened. Allegedly, he was, there was litigation and stuff, from what I understand, but Mars Argo, the original girl, claims that he was abusive and manipulative and all this stuff. So you take this real life story of abuse and being an asshole and turn it into a really crappy horror film. Feels a little sleazy, a little exploitative. But the thing about an abusive relationship like this, or someone that's mentally manipulative and stuff, is that they have this sort of, they can be very charming. They can be nice, and then they, use that to manipulate you. In this movie, the guy's just a raging asshole the whole time.
You're supposed to pay attention to me.
I was thanking people for coming to our gig.
What people, huh? The dudes that you invite to our shows in the hope that they'll fuck you? They won't fuck you. Who else would besides me? You're too weird looking.
And I think that's the takeaway, is that he is not believable.
Are we gonna have a fight? Why are you being so mean to me?
No one is believable.
A lot of his actions are based on stuff that manipulative people do, but...
Yeah, but to the nth degree, to a cartoony level, because it's very theatrical, it's very over the top. It's very cartoony and unrealistic. Like this story of a guy who's grooming and manipulating a young woman into being a pop star and then replaces her later with somebody else. I mean, you could write a story like that dramatically, maturely, and make it good. And, you know, even that movie where John Travolta played Moose was better.
Your favorite movie of last year, The Fanatic?
Moose is in the house. Moose is in the house. Watch out. Watch out. Here's Moosey.
The whole like flimsy premise just falls apart because it's so constricted to one location, this terrible music club that they have.
Yeah.
Because he wants to confront her.
Yeah.
And he chooses, instead of like, I don't know, finding where she lives or going to her house or going to where she works or
Which would be much more scary.
You would be scarier or more, you know, more threatening. He does it in this grandiose theatrical fashion at her first live concert. And he goes up to the bartender and he puts $200 down. Give me a vodka on the rocks. And then you're like, what? Because one thing that happens is he's like, ooh, I like that. And he's pointing to the bartender's earring.
Where did you get that done?
Body Electric on Melrose. My guy's name is Samir.
He does good work. Looks amazing.
And I'm like, it's just an earring. You know?
It's not like a cool tattoo or something.
I bet you $1 million in the script that was he had this rockin' neck tat, a dragon, right?
Sure.
And then they started shooting. They're like, "Where's the neck tat?" The artist who was gonna draw it on with a Sharpie didn't show up. Says Blumhouse check bounced. And it's like, oh, okay, well, just say his earring is cool. Why? Who says nice work to an earring? Just film it. So right off the bat, that's weird. And then he gives him like $1,000 and says
to clear out the bar.
Clear out the bar, except for these 3 characters, one of which inexplicably has an eye patch.
We moderate the treasury.
The treasury? The biggest treasure fan board in the entire world? Original superfans only?
Royal aligns himself with them and says, you 3, you guys are on my side, so maybe you can hang around. Everybody else leave. And so the bartender says, we're closing the place for a private event. And at first I'm like, well, that's really irresponsible. That's unrealistic. That's strange that the entire staff, the owner, everyone would just leave the place alone to this guy for $1,000. What about insurance liability? What about this, you know? But then it turns out that the bartender was secretly hanging around in the end.
He's only hanging around because they realized that this is supposed to be a horror movie and there's no characters to kill. Same with the opening act, which is a couple that just hang outside in their car for the entire movie. 1, it pads out the runtime, and 2, it gives them a character to kill.
38-year-old ladies like cunnilingus in the back seat of a car in a dirty alley. That's some straight up high school teenager shit. The grown-ass adults don't do that. But they had to give them something to do. Why are they hanging out in their car? I don't know. They got to show up later, right?
Yeah.
Well, they're sitting in the car and like, But Royal, we'll call him Royale with cheese. Royale with cheese wants to confront Valentine foe because his new muse, treasure, is a dimwit with no musical talent.
You skipped the part about how you're currently violating a restraining order.
That's BS, Julie. Damn BS.
Whatever, dude. Bye.
His whole plan from the beginning was to go to confront my Valentine.
Yeah.
And he brings along the girl and tells her to wait in the car.
Yeah.
How about just do it on a night when she's working her shift at Panera Bread Company? When, you know, why break? So she could come in and be involved
so
in
the movie
story.
can happen. That's all the decisions are so the movie can happen.
You don't get it. I'm not afraid of you and your psycho bullshit anymore.
Well, also because it's supposed to be like I guess empowering story of confronting and overpowering your abuser, but there's scenes of him trying to be abusive and strangling women and stuff like that. And it's supposed to be like tense and serious, but then there'll be like cartoon glitter effects and split screens and goofy sound effects, and it's like, are you trying to make Scott Pilgrim versus the World, or are you trying to make a tense thriller about a manipulative asshole? They don't go together at all.
No.
So yeah, none of the pieces fit, and they just blast purple gels onto everything.
Yes, I was going to say you were the cinematographer. This movie looks like fucking Space Cop.
Well, the part that got me is there's Valentine makes it up onto the roof. She's running away from Titanic Sinclair, whatever his name is, and he's chasing her, and it's supposed to be like this tense scene. She falls off the roof, and then we get like multiple split screens and freeze frames as she falls to the ground. And it's like, I was thinking, like, is the editor trying to sabotage the movie? Like, you've completely deflated any tension you were trying to create with these goofy comic book edits.
I think the editor was trying to save the movie. Because
make it look like it has style.
It wasn't her on the roof and him confronting her on the multiple angles, and the camera dollies up and we see how high the roof is, and the camera's moving around, and just like this tense scene. I'm like,
yeah, it's just like a wide shot on the ground. Like, there they are.
Yeah. That's it. Well, you got to put the camera down here and shoot it up. I don't know. And then also it's like we've established that other couple, and so this event happens where Treasure falls off the roof and lands on a dumpster, and then we're to assume that Royal got down, got her body, unconscious body, and brought her back inside, and all that happened in plain sight of the other couple. Unless maybe it was on the other side of the building. I don't know. It's terrible.
Well, they could have made that apparent, and that could have added to the tension if we see the opening act. Just, they're in the frame. This is happening behind them. They don't notice it because maybe they're still going down on each other or whatever.
Or they see it and they say, "Oh my God, we got to go inside and find out what's going on."
Get involved with the story, you mean? Yeah. But instead, we don't see them for 45 minutes. Motivation, yeah.
Characters have motivation.
We don't see them for 45 minutes, and then they just kind of awkwardly walk into the frame.
I think maybe they closed early.
Hey, man, we wanted to use our drink tickets.
Yeah.
Hey guys, what's going on here?
After having oral sex for 4 hours in the parking lot, they just decide, let's go back into the venue and have some drinks.
Well, it's the combination of everything. Everything we're talking about. Bad writing, bad cinematography, bad distracting editing, nonsensical character motivations.
It's a perfect storm.
Yeah.
It's a perfect storm. It's a film about female empowerment where the female can't find the exit to a building.
And then we get a 5-minute music video.
Then
we have to see a whole music video, because how else are you going to get to feature length?
Every now and then they cut to music video footage in this.
Yeah.
Pre-shot footage just to pad the running time.
Yeah. And then the credits start rolling, and then they do what every good, tense horror film should do, show bloopers.
Oh, did they?
There's like goofy outtakes of the actors dancing and stuff.
Dang, I didn't see that.
As if it couldn't get worse.
I shut that shit off well before that.
You need some serious therapy!
Yeah, so it feels like we're reviewing bad episodes of an anthology TV series, which is basically what we're doing.
Yeah, 2 bad episodes and 1 okay episode.
No, yeah, the Pooka one was on a curve, was good.
Yeah, it epitomizes Blumhouse as a whole. How it's like I was saying at the beginning, there's no quality control. If you have the means to make something like an Invisible Man or a Get Out, why dump out these just completely worthless movies too?
Because those movies fund the better movies. It's a business.
It's a business, and Jason Blum is very smart. He knows what he's doing, even if the audience suffers for it.
Well, is there an audience?
Well, with these movies, the Into the Dark movies, no.
Again, we'll put up our graphic, our circular graphic. It is the chicken being thrown out at the end of the night at the buffet.
Well, to be fair, the chicken wouldn't be thrown out. You need a better food for your analogy. What's the food that would get thrown out at the end? Probably broccoli. No one that goes to a buffet is going to eat something healthy.
That's true. Okay.
The broccoli gets thrown out at the end of the night.
The broccoli.
But then broccoli's good for you, and these movies aren't good for you, so that doesn't work either.
Maybe something like clams or oysters or some kind of like tricky seafood where they're like, I'm not sure about that.
That would work, because that also falls into the category of like, it could be really good or it could be terrible.
Yeah.
Clams at a buffet? Ooh.
Yeah.
You're really taking your life into your own hands with that one.
Yeah, is this going to make me sick or is this going to be delicious?
Yeah.
So that's Jason Blum, a dirty clam peddler. No, I mean, what a successful company. They have a good model of hits and misses.
Yeah.
They have a lot of titles.
Oh no, guys! Now I've got a third illness!
What is it now? The Harlem Shakes?
Hey, maybe he's got an achy breaky heart.
No, I've got pneumonia.
Oh.
I've got to go make arrangements at the funeral home.
Don't forget to put us in your will.
Hey, remember when we used to fix VCRs?